Watch more programs like this on cable and stream with PCN Select. Subscribe at PCNTV.com.
My name is Ron Johnson. We're here at the Milton Model Train Museum. It's been here for 14 years. It was started by Reverend Walker. 14 years ago, he donated a lot of stuff, and we'll just go in and take a look at the trains. Okay, we put the layout together, different sections at a time. The track was all laid by hand. All the track has ballast in it, just like it would normally. And we used chicken feed and glue to make the ballast look real. The yard is ACNF's yard that would have a lot of the cars that were in the 50s and 60s that you would have seen out on the regular railroads. This is a building where McDonald's sits now that had a plumbing shop and a barber shop in it. This was the movie theater. The ACNF, or the YMCA was here. Lisa's shoe store is also right here. And these were all buildings that are still here in Milton. They're not used for the same thing. This is used to be a clothing store, and now it's a magistrate's office. Okay, this was the Pensy Railroad Passenger Station, which is now the police station. This was their freight station. That was the Reading Freight Station, is now the Borough Hall. These are just buildings that are still there, down from those stations. All right, well, this is the south end of town where Boardi's is. This was the Studebaker garage where they sold Studebakers out of. This was the steel mill that's no longer in Milton. It's gone, but that's a feed mill, Stahl's feed mill, and it's still there, not being used as a feed mill anymore, but it's definitely still there. The firehouse is still across the way. That's the Miltonian. That was the original Borough Hall, police station, you name it. If Milton was running out of it, that's where they were at. Over in the far corner was the baseball field that was below Milton. They played softball games there. After World War II, it was a big deal to have men's softball fields there. The next part is the island, and that was originally used for football. When Milton first started playing football, it's also used for the Circus, which is set up for now. It had a movie theater. This is a new section that we put in so we could run trains around. It used to have the roundhouse. It now has a lake and a farm in here and a person flying a kite. Okay, this is part of the layout that's our imagination. We needed it to turn trains around with. This is the roundhouse that used to be setting up further, and we needed more room for it, so we moved it down here. We also added the mountains and painted it a couple years back so it looks like snow. We've got cabins up on top of it, a radio station up on top, and this is just what we thought of as our imagination. All right, we're standing in front of the main street of Milton. It's a real long section. It was originally by Reverend Walker. At one end we have the Moose. The Moose is here. We have a church that burnt 2 years ago. It's been totally restored. And these are all buildings that were in Milton at the time, all the way down here to the post office. And it was all brought in one section. Because we're on the third floor, we had to get the fire department to bring it in through that window. Okay, we have a number of buttons along the train layout for the kids, but this one here is for the Watchman. His light goes up and down. He's supposed to be stopping the cars from going across the tracks when there's a train coming. The second thing we have here is the playground. When the kids push the buttons, everything moves on the playground. As long as they hold it in, everything moves. Okay, this is one of my favorite ones. The guy's flying an airplane. This is how we used to do it when we were kids. You would hold on to the string and you'd have to turn around. But the guy flies the plane all day long. Hasn't crashed it yet. Okay, here's another shot we have of the something that was on the island in Milton. It was the circus, and of course you have to have the elephants in the circus, so they do tricks. Okay, we also have a circus layout that has 3 different things that moves and one that lights up.
My name's Barry Mavis. I'm president of the Milton Model Train Museum here in Milton, PA, on the 3rd floor of the Moose Building. Our layout is a 20 by 60 layout of Milton in the 1950s to early 60s. We run several different types of trains on our layout. We can run 5 trains at a time. First one you see coming here is an F7 Pennsylvania diesel that ran back in the 1940s and 50s. It carries REA boxcars, a baggage car, a dining car, and passenger cars, and an observation car in the rear. Next comes a pair of diesels. They're North Shore diesels, which run on today's local line out of Williamsport, but it's carrying a mixed freight of boxcars and coal cars. Now, these engines weren't back there in the 1950s, but they're patterned after the Reading color scheme. What you see coming here now is one of our conventional engines. It's a Reading engine, it's a Camelback, and it's pulling empty coal cars. And down below here we have a steam locomotive pulling mixed freight. Now both these engines are conventional engines run off our transformers. What you have up on top here is a schematic with toggle switches on to throw switches on our rail lines. Below you have a ZW transformer on the left, which can run 4 trains. On the right you have a KW transformer, which can run 2 trains.
Thanks for joining us on this tour of Milton Model Train Museum. We're on the 3rd floor of the Moose. We are open right after Thanksgiving, every weekend after Thanksgiving, all the way through December until January the 1st. And we hope to see you soon.